Okay, start.
Recording? Okay, recording started.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to start, going through the slides. This is pretty straightforward. This is not at all technical. So I want to get an idea of how much the interest would be, how deep you want to go, and for obvious reasons, cannot be covered within an hour. So the more I got reading into it and dive deep into it, I can see that we can talk about it for multiple weeks. So I'm just going to go over the basic history of where it all started and how it evolved. Um, Before I start, how many of you are hodling Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency? Just shout or I
I
don't know
think you should
I can see.
assume very little knowledge, very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we say 10% of
Yeah.
the crowd today? Okay. I don't know if I can see that here in the participant list. Anyway, so that's why I'm going to start from here. So this is the essential pretty basic simple text slides. There is no graphics except whatever is in the template. Okay. Let's start. So I'm going to tell the story of the story. Everybody, I think from our conversation in the group, we also have this separate crypto group Nari has created. So if you're not part of that, you can join in that group for some deep crypto dialogues. From based on the conversation, what I feel is most of us are looking at it as a investment instrument, right? So is it going to, what's the rate of return? What's the percentage? How is it going to be? What's the risk profile and all that? That's one of the main concerns why we miss some of the reason behind why cryptocurrency has become popular. Okay, so I'm going to start give some of the background information, and then we'll go over how this thing evolved. It's not a lot of history. This thing happened maybe 10, 15 years back. That's it, maximum 15 years. But we'll go over those information, and feel free to stop me anytime. I'm just going to read the slides or look at the slides and expand on it. Okay. So I'm sure most of you remember this, read about it. 71, U.S. government removed the dependency of gold for U.S. dollars. Right. So that is probably where dollar become the fiat currency without any backing. Not many investors like it even today, right? But it is what it is, like US currency. So the reason why I have that in the slide is US dollar is not much different from Bitcoin, right? People talk about Bitcoin, it's not a real currency. It doesn't have anything backing. It's the same case with US dollar and same with gold, right? So all of them are created value, right? It's an traded value. Okay, so 71 to 2017, 1971 to 2017, the cumulative rate of inflation on the US dollar has been over 50%. So it's important to quantify that because these are all.
Muthu?
Yeah.
One quick question. See,
Yeah.
you said US dollar doesn't have any backing. That's not true. US dollar has the backing of Uncle Sam. If you have a dollar.
Okay.
No. Inflation may hit it. I agree. Fire can destroy it. But at face value of the dollar is backed by the US government. You can take the dollar, $100, $1,000 to U.S. government. They have to reimburse you.
They have to reimburse you. Yeah, I mean, that is true. I'm talking about more of trade value. Like, yeah, right now, US dollar is in a position where it can be traded anywhere. It can be taken anywhere in the world, and it has the same equivalent of currency value, right? But the point about inflation is what I wanted to highlight, right? You can print, Uncle Sam can print US dollars as much they want, right? That's
Yeah,
what
that's
happened
because
with
that's a
the
reserve currency. Yeah.
reserve currency. So the supply has become kind of unlimited. Like, there is no end to the supply, right? Whereas in the case of Bitcoin specifically, it's true with every cryptocurrency. The quantity is limited. So there is only 21 million you can mine, right? So I've got I think it's the exact number, 21 million. So by about 2035 or so, we have some slides giving details. The mining would exhaust, and that's the end of new crypto Bitcoin, right? So whereas in case of US dollar, as well as even with gold, like, gold, we don't know how much gold is available. It's an unlimited, it's kind of like, unknown quantity, right? So that is the comparison. Like, not necessarily like, it has no value, but it's more of like the quantity. So that's what makes the difference. Like, you can make a case for the backing, but the definition or the scarcity is going to increase the value. So the
So,
reason why,
Muthu, see, the scarcity is okay for Bitcoin per se, right?
yeah,
But there are a lot of other cryptocurrencies, right? So, if
yes,
Bitcoin is not available, not necessarily that everybody has to buy cryptocurrency only Bitcoin, right? So, they can buy other things also. So, in that way, if you look at that, the scarcity value is eliminated by Ethereum and Bitcoin Lite, and there are so many other coins. So
yeah.
if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, you have a lot of choice. So it doesn't mean that you have to invest only in Bitcoin and keep on raising the price.
Right, right. That is determined by the adoption rate. So if, I mean, anybody really can create their own Bitcoin or their own cryptocurrency, right? Like, it is happening all the time. Everybody comes up with their own name. But the thing is, like, how fast they can adopt. Like, the reason, I mean, when I go through the other slides, like, you will understand, like, how it evolved. So if you see the journey it took for Bitcoin, like, it has to be the same type of journey because everything is decentralized. It has to take the same amount of effort for other coins to happen. Okay.
Why do you say that? It is may not be true, right? So because see, Bitcoin was the first currency, it took a long time, but other currencies can catch up quickly.
It depends on how they are mining it. Okay, obviously Ethereum has a better infrastructure, unlike Bitcoin, which is taking a toll right now, taking more time. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the details in the later slides about technical details. I mean, we are not even going to go to the technical details. Like, it is. Let's table that idea. Like, yes, it is an open discussion, right? Like, it is a possibility that there is some other coin that will supersede Bitcoin maybe in 5 years or
Yeah,
10
I
years.
think
It is a
it's
possibility.
better to understand the basics first.
Yeah.
Then we can compare with other crypto users. But we are trying to really understand what is the
Correct.
foundation, like
See, the point
what is
is
backing it up.
the point is the scarcity, right? So
Scarcity.
I totally understand the scarcity because that is why gold has been an inflation proof thing because there is a limited quantity of gold, right? So the currency can lose value, but gold will keep going up, right? That's what people believe anyway. So if Bitcoin is going to replace gold, then that is the advantage of Bitcoin, that it is scarce. But if you look at it, there are other currencies also, which that is where I don't understand the scarcity aspect. Okay,
Yeah. It's
let's
adoption rate. Yeah, adoption rate.
Yeah,
So
no, that
let's
gets
go ahead.
basics more clear. Yeah.
yeah, we can talk about that a little later once we cover. I mean, the reason I'm talking about Bitcoin is that we started with that, right? So I mean, not necessarily Bitcoin. When I say Bitcoin, we can always replace it with any cryptocurrency for that matter. Okay. All right. So this is inflation. Is this the second slide? Yes. Okay. So 1993, really things getting heated up. It's not directly related to Bitcoin, but there was a group called Cypher Punks. Okay, they created a manifesto, a statement of intent. Like that was pretty much like the first um, document for electronic money. They made a case for electronic money. I'll let you read through this. Like, if you have any questions, you can. So this is available online. So cypherpunk.manifesto, whatever, this long a link. I'll send this presentation, Nari. Like you can post it in the group or
Yeah.
keep it somewhere wherever.
Okay.
Okay, but this is kind of like genesis for this fictitious person, Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know the real identity, so he's a pseudonymous name. He created a white paper later, so that. But for his invention, this is cypherpunk is the original manifesto, which talked about the need for creating an electronic money because they are losing trust in the fiat currency. Okay. So in 96, there is a company by these guys, Douglas Jackson and Barry Downey, eGold. eGold started with an ambitious intent, but, pretty quickly got shut down. They were trying to replace currency USD. Government intervened. Okay. In 2001, there was another technology which laid the foundation for decentralized blockchains. It's called the BitTorrent clients. Like I'm sure you heard of this, right? Like BitTorrent is the file sharing protocol existed. It was pretty famous during the .com.
Yeah. So Napster was using that to pirate.
Exactly. I was about to say that Napster, skyrocketed at that time, and now everybody's making fun of it. So Bitcoin laid the process foundation. I mean, BitTorrent laid the process foundation for Bitcoin. They created this decentralized files. There will be files in everybody's computer or wherever, multiple computers, and then BitTorrent will access them. People will be able to share their files to others. I mean, it's mostly videos, music, audio files, music videos like that. Okay, Bitcoin evolved along that concept, and 2008. So, if you have to understand the idea of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, like you have to give into this understand the philosophy of people trying to do things anonymously in the web, right? So bitcoin.org was registered through anonymousspeech.com. So you would hear more of this type of a context. Like, there are people who are involved in developing cryptocurrency or right now the Coinbase is IPO, so it is a public entity. But in the beginning, like, everything is like not visible, and that was one of the reasons why it took so much time for Bitcoin to create that adoption rate. So bitcoin.org is a good resource. Like, even now you can go there, like it tracks the progress. Okay, so this is an important slide. Like, October 31st, 2008. It's probably the major milestone for Bitcoin. The pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, he published a white paper. So if you are interested in the technical details, this is a good place to start. Like, there is a white paper describing peer-to-peer money system, right? So he has a pretty detailed description on how that system has to be will be done. Okay, and it's taught in all the courses and colleges where they teach cryptocurrency, but it's one of the very pretty foundation document and created by this person. We don't know who it is, but the name is Satoshi Nakamoto. Good. I mean, this is the amount of extent of technical detail I'll go through. I have it in a slide, but we won't talk about any more IT stuff.
Yeah, Satoshi is he's based in like USA or Japan.
That's the mystery, right? Like, nobody knows.
Muthu?
Yeah.
Muthu, one
Yes.
quick question. The Bitcoin, what is it backed by?
It's not backed by anything. It's a software program, right? Like,
okay, then my question is, then whoever initially decided, let's say $1 million worth of Bitcoin or million, whatever unit it is.
21. Yeah.
Who has that, and just because they invented a theoretical concept, did they become rich?
No, they didn't become rich. I mean, whoever this person, Satoshi Nakamoto, is, like, his idea was not to become rich. Like, he didn't even know Bitcoin would have any value. Like, nobody predicted Bitcoin will go to $50,000 in 2021.
Okay, and let me rephrase the question. If I want to buy Bitcoin now, I have to shell out $50,000 or $60,000 for a coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Originally, when it came out, the idea and so many limited quantity, then somebody had it, and what did they pay for it? And now it's worth 60,000. So did they become rich? So that's the thing I'm very confused about, because you can't compare with dollars.
Right. No, we'll go into the detail probably in the future sessions, because how you have to unlearn the idea of money comparing to Bitcoin, in the sense it's not like a cash. I mean, obviously you cannot physically touch it, but even when the Bitcoin idea of Bitcoin, the programming started, like, they didn't have 21 million. Like, they were going to mine and start creating this new blocks in the blockchain, and that is when you create. So in the beginning there was nothing, right? So over a period of time it started creating. It's think of it like how do I put it? Like, think of it like something like a McDonald's franchise, right? Like, in the beginning there was only one franchise, and then they expanded all over the world. So the value of McDonald's increased after. Now we cannot compare the value of McDonald's now with the first McDonald's they started in Kansas.
So Muthu, you mentioned something about 21 million, some limit. How did that limit come about? I think that's also related to the question that Vish is just asking. How did that come about to have? That's the theoretical limit of you cannot have any more than that. How did that that happen?
It's a a good question. It's a complex algorithm. I really haven't cracked the exact formula. It's too much to
Okay.
get into the detail, but I can explain a little bit on that. Like, it is something like, the way I understood is like, the limit is based on the what do they call block size, right? So think of it like a computer's memory, right? Like, so every computer has a limit of hard disk, right? 1 terabyte, 500 megabyte, right? So that means there is a limit based on the storage space, right? That's a physical limit.
Mhm.
So same way, like, if you go to the programming level, like, you can decide how big a number can be stored in a variable based on whether it is 16-bit or 32-bit, 64-bit, and all that stuff.
So
So
that same logic then would apply to any crypto. Is that correct?
the
And
same logic would apply to
what
any
Mario is
crypto.
asking about, there are different cryptocurrencies available, and you
Yes.
mentioned that the popularity of each one depends on the adoption rate, kind of thing. So
Yes, adoption rate. And the newer cryptos are coming up with a bigger block size. So that means they will cross 21 million and they'll go a little bit bigger in size. I mean, more in quantity, right?
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, this is the theoretical answer, like, but we will go through some kind of technical detail sometime, in the future session. Like, I want to put together some kind of a slides that's easy to assimilate. Okay. This is getting interesting. Like, now you have the eGold and BitTorrent. Okay. Um, Unlike fiat currencies, the amount of Bitcoin is capped at 21 million, making it inflation proof. Like, that is one of the rallying cry for the people who are supporting Bitcoin. So we have a currency now that is inflation proof because we have a limited quantity. Okay, so they don't. Everybody who don't approve government printing money are backing this idea. So that's why you will see in theory, you will see, like, people from all party politics will there are fans for Bitcoin in every segment. The Bitcoin.pdf, that's the white paper. If you want to, white paper is spelled wrong. If you want to read through it, like, it's a fun read. If you want to ignore the technical piece, like, you can at least see his thought process at that time. So 2007, this guy or a girl, it could be a girl or it could be a company. We don't know exactly what the reason, who the person behind. So starting from 2007, I think the white paper came in 2008. And while he is on record as living in Japan, it's speculated that Nakamoto may be a collective pseudonym for more than one person. Okay. So that's the before Bitcoin. January 1st, 2010, there was no Bitcoin. The launch of Bitcoin in January 2009 introduced a revolutionary technology that was largely ignored by the public. So behind the scenes, however, a small segment of technophile community takes notice. So this is, think of it like, this is kind of like the Reddit community in the web, right? Like, these are the people who discuss. Most of them are part of that cypherpunk group. So this is one of the reason why Bitcoin was not gaining popularity or gaining acceptance with Wall Street or any serious investors, including Warren Buffett. 2009. So we talked about the block, right? Like Satoshi Nakamoto mines the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain. That is the first Bitcoin, right? And it is also called the Genesis block for obvious reasons. So if you want to think about Bitcoin, right? Like January 3rd, 2009, the value was zero. Nobody knew except Satoshi Nakamoto that this thing existed. In January 9th, he mined some more and sent it to his. So the question is, like, a lot of people think about what is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is it like a program, or is it the coin, or is it a framework? So Bitcoin itself is the framework. And once you mine, then you create the asset so that you can store your asset in your wallet. But when people mix it up, like between people mix it up. Technically, Bitcoin the framework and Bitcoin the cryptocurrency, right?
Muthu,
So you will see, yeah.
Muthu, when you use the word, when you mine it, what does it exactly mean?
It's okay. That is the part I didn't want to go to. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't have any slides to explain that. It's basically a program, computer program that solves a puzzle. Like it computes to figure out what are the four digits in a hash. So that is there is no other way to do that except by running the program. So the program, there is a specific program and there's a specific logic to run. And that's only way. Doesn't matter where or who runs the program, right? So that's called the mining. So once the problem.
Okay, when we say mining gold, for example,
Yeah.
there is concrete gold underneath. We don't know where it is, how much it is. So we go and mine it, get the piece, get a block, get a piece, whatever the unit is, we get it out. So is there a fixed amount somewhere hidden secretly that only somebody through the software get it out? That's the confusion I have.
I think each time you mine or whoever mines gets certain Bitcoin. Is that correct, Muthu?
That's correct. The miner, no, there are two ways to do it. Like the miner gets paid as a reward as a Bitcoin, okay? And the miner can also transfer it to somebody else right away. But let's say, for the sake of understanding, let's say whoever mines has the Bitcoin, okay? So whoever mines knows the entire address of the hash block, right? So that means nobody can hide that. Now it is visible to everybody on the internet. So anybody, if I say that I have 10 Bitcoins, that everybody can verify I have 10. Okay. And if I transfer 10 Bitcoin, one of that to Nari, then Nari can verify that he received it. So it is easily verifiable and it is automatic and it is all controlled through the program. It is like you don't need a third party agency like how we do the bank transfers. Okay. Anyway, that's the I'll save it for the future topic, later sessions. But let's just say that mining is a concept of solving a computer puzzle, and then once you solve it, you have the block for you. It's available for you, and the ownership is assigned. You own it.
Muthu. Muthu, this is Kasi.
Kasi, hi.
Yeah, what happened is I also, in 2008 or 2010 time, I worked with a few friends on the mining. So at that time, we started working on it. The idea behind it is, like you mentioned, it is a 64-bit or 126 or whatever it is. So around that bit, you can have only X number of what is that, addresses, right? So
Right.
all with all combinations. So
Right.
those are the addresses of the combination, or each one is a Bitcoin. So you
Right.
are mining to get that address, and you are going to tell, so that address belongs to me. So
Correct.
that is how you are registering. So when you register, it is that is why you said it's a 21 million or whatever it is. So there is only a limited number of addresses for that number of bytes, and you are trying to own that byte, and you are trying to register in a central place where Nakamoto or somebody has created. So that is the idea behind it.
Yeah, everything is correct, except it is not stored in a central place. It is distributed all over in the web, so everybody can verify that. So that is the idea of having that as decentralized, right? So
Exactly. That is right.
yeah,
Yeah. That is
yeah,
where the Bitcoin and the, what is the other one that goes
Ethereum,
hand in hand. Yeah. Where, the
blockchain.
blockchain goes hand in hand, because you sign a paper, you say, this is my Bitcoin, that, this is the signature, and then it is circulated between everybody, and everybody checks, okay, yeah, this is the
Yeah,
signature. We agree. This is the bytes. Yeah.
right, right, exactly. So think of it as a software program that can be verified by every programmer or anybody for that matter. All over the world. Okay, so nobody controls. So that is another key point. Whereas in terms of U.S. dollars, U.S. government controls everything, right? But in terms of Bitcoin, nobody controls anything. Everything is available online, and anybody can mine, and anybody can buy, anybody can keep it to themselves, right?
But who suppose I say, pardon me for saying this, maybe this is the wrong way to express my opinion, my question.
Yeah.
Suppose I say I mined 10 Bitcoin. Who is the
Mhm.
authority to verify whether I really did it or not? There has to be some central body, or
No, there is no central body. If you say you have 10 Bitcoin and you have it in a wallet, and you send it to Nari or send one to me, then I can verify it is a Bitcoin. Okay, you cannot send anything to me and say that this is my Bitcoin, right?
So
So
Vish,
it is basically an address.
you cannot mine Bitcoin in isolation. That's the bottom
Correct.
line. Yeah.
Correct. That is correct. See, think of it like banks have a ledger, right? Credit, debit. All these people, Nari put some money, I put some money in the bank. They don't really have the cash. They only have, I have how much money I put in, how much money Nari put in, how much money Kasi put in, like that, right? So think of it as a ledger. So that ledger is what is available for everybody. In terms of US dollars, for a particular bank, it is available
yeah,
only to the bank.
see, that is more of a recirculation. For example, Nari's money goes to bank, and then bank gives you the loan. That's more of a distributing existing ones. But you keep
Right.
saying mining. Mining, in my opinion, is something coming new. It wasn't
Right.
there before.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about mining with the technical details. Then it'll make sense for you. There is. I mean, that itself is we can talk for an hour. So there is so much in explaining the mining part, and we need a lot of pictures to show it. Right. So let's go through the history now. This is getting interesting, right? If you look at it here, the first block Satoshi created, and then he created the client Bitcoin point one. This is the official program, right? And it is downloaded by Hal Finley. Hal Finney is the first recipient of the Bitcoin. He received 10 Bitcoin from Satoshi. Okay. At that point, 2009, January 9th, zero value. Now it is 10 of that is what? It's more than 500,000, right? Each is 50K. So that's the next one. And then New Liberty Standard, a technology website, published an exchange rate for Bitcoin to dollars. So this is again, this is like, their estimate, 1 is to 1.309 BTC per dollar. Wow. Dollar was almost equal. 1 is to 1.3.
So this is where the problem started, I guess. So yeah. But understanding the exchange rate. So
Exchange rate, yeah. So 2009, things were kind of heating up with PayPal getting involved. In the sense, PayPal was not dealing with cryptocurrency, but people were using PayPal to buy Bitcoin. And it went, this places exchange rate of 1 cent per Bitcoin. So if we bought Bitcoin in October 12, 2009, it would have been 1 cent. So we could have bought.
yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. 1 cent, or maybe it is 0.1 cent, even less. So I think this is when Reddit got involved. Forums like Bitcoin Talk, Reddit, and all this. Who remembers IRC? Internet chat. That was the first peer-to-peer messenger. I think it was in mini computers.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really
2009. I mean, even before, right? In 90s, so it was there.
Yeah.
But by 2009, IRC was pretty matured, and I think by 2010, 2015, it was out. It's more standard information, nothing interesting. So he's kind of like, moving. He's kind of like, giving it away to the general public to handle everything. Satoshi, he or she. December 16.2 was released. Now it's Windows and Linux compatible. It's not a big deal. Nobody cares, right? The first Bitcoin mining difficulty increase occurs, mining in the process of writing blocks. So this is a little bit more on detail, like Avish, on what exactly mining is. It's a process of writing blocks of transactions to the blockchain using in the beginning, computer CPUs. It started with normal computers. As the time goes by, like, the mining becomes more time consuming because there are more blocks to verify. So right now they're using some kind of a faster ASIC CPUs. All right, this is such a high level description of what is mining. So in terms of time, it took about 10 minutes per block. So that's the reason why, there is a time delay. And that's one of the downside of Bitcoin compared to the newer ones, like Ethereum based coins are faster compared to Bitcoin. All right, price of Bitcoin on January 1st, 2010. Now it is 1 cent. So it's still a small group. Even 2010, not many people know about it.
Muthu, did as the inventor of Bitcoin, did Satoshi Nakamoto keep anything for him? Like out of the 21 million, he retained 1 million or something like that, or it is all open to public?
I don't know that. Possibly there is, he must have kept some, but the funny part is, like, nobody knows. Nobody can check unless it comes to the public saying that, okay, I am buying using this Bitcoin. We wouldn't know if he owns it or not. Like, I can own Bitcoin and keep it within my cold storage or my wallet or my hard token. Nobody would know. So that is another plus or another important point, like why some people use it, and that's also the downside. People are complaining that it's used for money laundering.
Yep. So how will we know out of the 21 million how much is being utilized, how much is in circulation?
I think there is some information available. There is this website you can see, casebitcoin.com. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is there. You have a lot more information in circulation details, government data, Bitcoin growth, all that. This is everything about Bitcoin.
You are not sharing, Muthu.
Oh, I'm not sharing. How do I share this one?
You can share the whole
Sharing.
desktop. That will be the easiest.
It includes his Bitcoin wallet, Nari.
How about it now? Can you see?
Yeah.
Yep, we can see.
Yeah.
So I think around 18 million plus are already mined.
Yes. Yeah, that information. Yeah, supply is 89% supply issue. So we don't have much. If you are planning to buy, you have 10 more million to.
Correct. Because of the increase in complexity to mine the remaining, it is a slow process. That is why actually
asymptotic.
the bad guys, hackers, take over multiple computers and install crypto mining software. So that
Yes,
they
yes.
have thousands of PCs working
Right,
to mine one Bitcoin.
right.
Mm.
Do you see my slide? October 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about that, people using for tax evasion, money laundering. So there are two sets of two ways of looking at it, right? And the people who are total devotees of Bitcoin, like they say, these are the features. This is why we wanted something like this. And people who are using it for bad reasons, like they are having fun with it right now. PayPal, I think they stopped. PayPal stopped on December 3rd. I said they don't want to use them to conduct Bitcoin purchases, mainly because of WikiLeaks getting involved. So this was like a.
But I'm still seeing the case Bitcoin screen. I'm not seeing your deck.
Yeah. I think you're sharing only the Chrome, right? You're sharing only Chrome.
Oh, I'm sharing a little from. How about now?
Yep,
Slide,
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was the earlier slide I was showing, talking about dangers of Bitcoin. All right, moving on. So the people stopped, and all the Visa card, Mastercard, they are noticing it. Okay, so this is another major milestone for the Bitcoin history. December 12, 2010, Satoshi Nakamoto. He was fictitious even before, so he disappeared officially. So he made the last contribution to the Bitcoin Talk Forum, and then that's it. Nobody knows or heard from him after that. Some have claimed that they are Satoshi, but it's not proven yet. 2011, total number of Bitcoin generated by miners reaches 5.25 million, 25% of the 21 million. So 25% is the big milestone in 2011. So on 2011, also in 2011, Bitcoin reaches parity with US dollar. So one Bitcoin equal to one US dollar. There's a new website, blockchain.info. You can read about it. Real-time statistics and market information, Bitcoin as currency, current value against other currencies, and total value of Bitcoin in circulation, all of that. This is a good source, blockchain.info. Okay. 2014, IRS declares Bitcoin will be taxed as property. So this is probably the first recognition by a government body. So if you hold Bitcoin in Coinbase or any of those public wallets, you'll have to declare and put it in your tax return. But obviously, there are several people who won't sit not on the public wallet personally. So, in fact, that's the interesting part. Like, they say if you if you don't have your keys, you don't really own it. Something like that. Like if you don't have not your keys, not your coin. So that's the mantra with the Bitcoin community. Like if you own Bitcoin, that means you really have to own it in a cold storage by
it
just
is
like
like
gold.
if you people they forgot their password. So whoever forgot their password, they lost it.
They lost it. Yes. If you there is a public key and private key. If you lose your private key, that's it. Like that's the end of.
Muthu?
Yeah.
See, for stocks, I want to buy Tesla stock. I want to buy IBM stock. I can go to any broker and buy Vanguard and Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, any number of brokers. But if I want to buy Bitcoin, I can't go to these brokers. Where do I initiate my transaction to want some Bitcoin?
Yeah, there are several of them actually. So the good one is Coinbase. Coinbase is available. Recently went IPO, and then Binance. All of them you can buy, but they will be the custodian for your Bitcoin. So they will store it. I use BlockFi. There is a site called BlockFi. You can give $1,000 or $100, buy the Bitcoin, and they will pay. They will keep the Bitcoin in their wallet. They will pay 6% addition in returns, interest on your Bitcoin as Bitcoin. So you are compounding. 6% is not a lot, but
just like giving dividends.
Yeah, just like dividend. So they're incentivizing people to come to them. Eventually, they will reduce their dividends and make it equal to others. But right now,
Gemini, right?
Gemini, I think Gemini also does something similar, right? Like it has some kind of an incentive giving returns.
Yeah, on Gemini though, I wonder if I mean basically like they say that like you can transfer your assets to the like a deposit and get a particular rate of interest.
Right.
But does it grow also at the same level as the as the coin itself?
Yes. So if they give the interest on as Bitcoin, BTC, then there are two things happen, right? Like one is if Bitcoin value goes up, then your capital and the return both increases.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So you're like, kind of like having some additional advantage by storing it with them.
But I saw like, I mean, for the earning money part of it, like there are a lot of agreements that you have to go through and sign, and
Yes.
some of them say that like, you can lose everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody's disclaimer, right? I mean, contract in their contract, everybody is going to say that sign here, you might lose everything depositing with us. That's the standard terms and conditions. With Gemini is interesting. You heard of Winklevoss brothers, right? Twins. How many watched that movie, Social Network?
Yeah, the Facebook
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, the
Facebook
original
guys, yeah,
founders.
the original Facebook
Right.
idea people. So, right, those guys started this. Incidentally, they become the first billionaire based on their Bitcoin value.
Hmm.
So they're storing their Gemini, they're storing their Bitcoins, maybe not all of them, but they in Gemini, but they started this as a Gemini. And they have been trying to get approved for a ETF, for a publicly traded fund using Bitcoin, but they haven't got it so far.
So when you buy Bitcoin or any cryptos through these custodians, do they give you the private key and you are the owners of the private key, or it's their responsibility to maintain the private key for those Bitcoins?
They will maintain both private key and public key. So they'll give access for you. You can anytime you can transfer the Bitcoin. You can send and receive. It's like a wallet. You can send and receive
Mm-hmm.
into that wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they maintain everything for you.
Okay, gotcha. So you don't have the risk of losing the private key and you lose the
Yes,
Bitcoins. Okay.
yes, that's the
But you
advantage.
have the risk of losing the money. But like this is what happened in Turkey, right? So a couple of years back,
Yes,
this guy started a cryptocurrency, collected like $2 billion or something, and vanished.
yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
hmm.
That's always possible. Coinbase can declare bankrupt and all the money will be gone. 2015 is the genesis of Ethereum. That's the next big deal in the cryptocurrency.
Muthu, when
Yeah,
you make a payment, let's say you're buying something and let's say even Tesla, and then they let you pay using Bitcoin.
yeah.
Microsoft does it. So when it's a fraction of a Bitcoin, let's say you bought something for $1,000.
Yeah.
Now, when you're typing up your private key and everything else, when we satisfy the payment with the fraction of a Bitcoin, I would think, what
Mhm.
happens to the remaining? In other words, the company that you typed up your private key and all that information, do they have it, or it works with some other exchange? They just give that company that fraction that we owe, and now the remaining, after taking the fraction, we still owe. I mean, how does that fraction part work?
Yeah. Fraction works the same way like in the bank, right? See, that's another beauty of transacting with Bitcoin. Like if you look at dollar, like from the bank, you cannot. You may be, but now with all the internet-based banking, but earlier there is a minimum amount you can do. You need for wire transfers or send money, write a check, and all that stuff, right? But whereas Bitcoin, you can send it any amount, fraction, 1 cent, 5 cent, something like that. So all these companies, Coinbase, Binance, all those companies, BlockFi, Gemini, all of them are trying to behave or replicate a bank. So they're keeping everything in their account, and you send wherever you want. Like if you want to send money to Tesla to buy a car, then Tesla will give you an address, like a web address, right? Not not like a URL, but more like a 64-digit or something like a hash
Their
code.
wallet, maybe.
Their wallet, yes, exactly. So you have to enter the amount of Bitcoin you want to transfer to that wallet in Coinbase and click send. That goes to them directly. So you don't have to worry about any other. There is no middleman, no sales tax, no other verification. You don't have to wait 2-3 days for the money to deposit in Tesla.
So do you get a trustful receipt that it has reached the sender, or if
Yes.
there are no issues in between while transferring or anything like that, Muthu?
Yeah. So it is a direct transfer, right? Like from your address to another address. So it's like, it might hop in between internet technically, but still there is a source and there is a destination. It automatically goes, and there is a confirmation sent by Tesla, and you receive that. But that is also brings up to that idea of, like, for a fraction of second, like, you lose, the amount of Bitcoin in your wallet will be reduced, and you won't see that in Tesla.
Yep.
So at the fraction of second, you have to hold your breath and see it's somewhere in the black hole.
Like the float between check clearing, I guess, right? It's kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to get these reliable wallets to make sure the transaction happens.
And Muthu, in case somebody who has bitcoins and he dies, and whether his children get like other assets, they pass on, and it can be put in your living will.
Yeah.
That kind. Yeah. How do
Definitely.
you? Yeah. How do you account for it?
No, definitely. It's
you
just
may
like
get it, but your children cannot get it. So how will they get it?
just like gold storage, right? Jewelry is like you're keeping it and giving it to somebody. That's it. Like, in India, people get married, like, bride.
Yeah, so this is
It's
anonymous. So yeah, whoever possesses
anonymous.
the key, they own it. So I
Yes.
guess you just give them the key and they have it now.
Yeah.
There's no official transfer of assets.
Ceremony of
none of that.
there is no official ceremony of asset transfer.
So whosoever got the key is the owner.
Yeah, whoever got the key is the owner. Yes.
But that's partially the good thing and a bad thing. Everybody is so anonymous.
Yes.
The legit owner is anonymous, and
Right.
the illegal owner is anonymous.
It is anonymous too. Yeah.
But if you are owning that in Coinbase or Binance or something, then you can do nomination, right? Or
Yes. Nomination. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, for that account of the Coinbase. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, you can transfer
the key. You have some method of getting it, like using your password.
Yeah. In Coinbase, there is no concept of key, right? Like, it's just user ID, password. So you can reset the password.
Yeah, that is just like transferring a bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so essentially what you're saying is sometimes it may come under estate tax, sometimes it may not, as of now.
No, it is taxable. If you have Bitcoin in Coinbase, it is taxable. You have to declare it, and it's. It is it is taxable only when you sell it, right? Like, if you have it in your account.
Taxable as a short or a long term capital gain.
Capital gain, yeah.
Yeah, you'll get a 1099. You'll get a 1099 from the company.
Coinbase.
So from Coinbase.
Coinbase, yes.
So it will be similar. Like if you sell it within 1 year, it will be the short term gain.
Yeah, if you sell it for a profit, yes, it's a short term gain. You'll be paying tax on the capital gains. Yes.
Muthu, I've been watching sort of Gemini, like every day, like 2 or 3 new investment units are being introduced. So what do you think about those, and where can we find information on them? Like, how do we know what is legit and what's not?
You're talking about Gemini, buying something in Gemini?
Yeah. No, Gemini is adding a lot of new investment vehicles. Like,
so are you saying new cryptocurrencies?
Correct.
Yeah. They call it as altcoins, alternate coins, right? Like, there's also another word I can say.
So today, at least 5 or 6 have been added.
Right. So in theory, right, like, there is no point in investing in altcoins except for taking it like a gamble, right? Like, just instead of buying lotteries, you buy this. That's it. Because we will never know how much it will go, or it is anybody's guess. Okay, adoption is the biggest key. Like, it is decentralized. Unless several people use it, it's not going to go anywhere. In the case of Doge, Elon Musk is tweeting, so it is going very crazy. And I heard this Saturday Night Live he's going to host, and he was tweeting about it, and that's it. Like from 28 it went to 31 or 32, something like that. Since
Gopi,
last.
Gopi,
Yeah.
I hear that Gemini is going to send some land on the moon next week.
Gemini is going to send somebody.
No, sell a new
Hell
vehicle
moon.
land on the moon.
Yes, yes. What is that movie? The
And
greatest salesman in the world, right? Like that movie says
yeah,
that there's a
this is
sucker born every minute.
yeah,
I
this is
wonder
like
what the
somebody
Russian
was
property,
selling, a square yard of Mars or something like that.
Yes, yes.
So I think you have said here that Gemini offers FDIC insurance, right? So that is
Yes,
only
yes.
for the cash component in the account, right?
No, for the Bitcoin as well. So Gemini is very unique in that sense. In fact, I haven't heard anybody else offering this
I
insurance.
wonder how they do it. Like TD Ameritrade, only their cash component will be FDIC insured. The other one is all insured by SIPC or different in type of insurance. So
Yeah, I mean,
I thought FDIC insures only the bank deposits and CDs.
yeah, I have to go. I have to find details, but I'm not pretty sure it is FDIC insurance. It is an insurance Gemini has created themselves. So they have about 500 million or something like that in that to offer as a protection for people who invest in Gemini. And in fact, BlockFi is also using Gemini's insurance. So in that sense, your money is safe with these two places. Okay.
Mudhu, you said when we get a regular 1099 from Coinbase or anybody when we sell the bitcoins, right, or crypto, is it a regular 1099? Because I asked that question because last couple years my CPA asked a very specific question that did you buy or
Right.
sell any crypto?
Hmm.
So is there any uniqueness in that question or any regular 1099 will suffice that?
Yeah, 1099 should be enough. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, definitely. That's not. There's no more additional taxes you need to pay except um, using it as a capital.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Muthu, just going back to the previous slide, I just checked Gemini. The
Mhm.
FDIC insurance covers only the US dollars component, whatever you keep it in cash. All the
Yes.
others are governed by their own insurance.
Yes. Okay. So that's a clarification. Like FDA. So I mean, yeah, it's loosely. This text is like 3 years old. I think. I mean,
I know, but I know. I was really shocked to read this because I was surprised. FDIC will never insure Bitcoin. I don't think so.
Bitcoin. Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Um,
But I'm pretty sure Gemini has its own insurance for the
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
they do have the insurance. I just put it in the chat window.
Oh, okay.
Nari or Muthu, can people buy Bitcoin using their retirement account like
Yeah.
IRA or Roth?
Bitcoin IRAs are available. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Bitcoin IRA. There are several companies which are allow you to open up Bitcoin IRA and then transfer. You can transfer your back into it. So 2016, this guy Craig Great claimed that he is Satoshi and failed to prove. So this is the interesting part. Like nobody can come and cheat. Like they cannot. People cannot claim ownership or claim that they have everything is verifiable and everything is automatic through programs. That's the feature. Yeah, I think that's end of today. So I'm just going to stop there to think about how Bitcoin has evolved, right? Like, in the it's basically started as a computer program, right? And then it turned into a digital currency, and it is now, right now, it's not stopping there. Like, because of Bitcoin, the whole idea of cryptocurrency is transforming not just finance, banking, other areas like real estate, hospitals, several other industries are going to have a change of programming, change of applications, how people will verify each other's confirmations, like transactions, right? So there are two things in Bitcoin. One is the trust and verify, right? So for the US dollar, US government has to verify it, and gold, you have to take it to a jeweler to verify it. Whereas in terms of Bitcoin, it's automatic. You don't have to worry about whether you own it or not, whether you received is correct or not. So that's kind of like, this is the kind of bittersweet state in 2016, right? Like, there are cases where Bitcoin is used for money laundering and all that, but at the same time, like, this is kind of a proof that Bitcoin can be authentic. So it all depends on how the use cases will develop from now on. There are many coming. There are several companies. I mean, there are a lot of job opportunities in this. Like, I've been talking to a few guys like who are hiring anybody even without any experience. I mean, obviously nobody has experience in the cryptocurrency world, but they're hiring anybody and then feed them with all the basic details and then take them to Bitcoin industry. So it opens up a big door. Like, don't just think about like investing only. It's going to influence several fields. So I think it's about 9:10. Like, we can stop here. If you have questions, we can discuss. Based on the interest, we can go next week. Maybe we can review the white paper, or we can go into the details of the blocks.
Right. So I think this was great session, Muthu. Very good start, history and so on. So I think what will be useful for the people is actually a discussion about the exchanges and the process, and how to invest, and different types of cryptocurrencies available, what are coming up. Those sort of things, discussion will be very useful.
Yeah. Okay. So we can take it up as a investment instrument and talk about what are the
Correct. So practical tips on how to invest in cryptocurrencies, right? That is what I think that will be very useful for people.
Muthu,
Yeah.
Muthu,
Go ahead.
can we start a crypto?
Why?
You need a ICO, initial coin offering.
We will call it Muthu coin.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
about Kasi? Kasi said he was working on cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, exactly. He should be the one
Yeah.
starting.
So
Yeah,
Kasi, why are you talking to us? Why are you not a billionaire?
I know. Actually, what happened is 2008, I started looking at very seriously. And then, it looked like I calculated all the servers that I'm supposed to buy. Already I had about, I had about 3 server in my home. So I talked to one of the guy, okay, let me try on this. So I set up all the server. Then I came to know, even if you, mint one coin, which is going to take, I don't know, months, and then we only less than one. Oh.
Yeah, we lost you there.
We lost Kasi.
I think he
Yeah, I
got
think
emotional.
yeah.
At a critical point, we lost him.
The servers
Climax.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Okay.